So,
Okay.
all right. Welcome to Soccer as You Like It, the Man United direction. My name is Joe, the Soul Man. We are coming to you live after the game, the FA Cup game between Manchester United and Newport
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 County.
FC, Newport County FC Football Club. Representing the US of A, we have Devin Walker from Tampa. It's the ambassador. And from the UK, we got coming to you Vim, the analyst.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, hi guys, how's it going?
We're gonna get right into it. Huh. Squeaky bum time, of course. Manchester United making a meal out of this game, of course. I'm sure for a split second, it made the folks at Newport feel like they were on top of the world. Of course, that it seems to be our gift to football is that we can make anybody feel like they're on top of the world. You know, overall, just give the team ratings right now. What would you say? What would you give the team overall today, Vim?
Overall, over the course of 90 minutes, it was in phases. I mean,
Yeah,
for us to concede those goals that the way we did, the first one they Newport County scored was pretty decent, difficult to stop. I would
yeah,
give it's a difficult one because look, we got 4 goals. We rarely score 4 goals nowadays. So for that, it's a plus. But look at the opposition, a team that's 75 places below us. When I tell you the squad value, you're going to be shocked. So I think an overall is I'll probably give it a 5 or 6 or something like that because we got 4 goals. It was nice to see some goals, and they came from different players. Um, yeah, let's just go with a 6.
Devin.
Vim, you're more generous than I am,
I
and that
know.
usually never happens.
Mm,
I gotta tell you right now, just because of the lack of in-game management, I have to give that a 5 because that game should have been a lot more comfortable than what it was, and we keep on falling into the same traps. Where not only did we pretty much, I call it pretty much a 2-0 curse. It happened to us, and then furthermore, there was just no leadership on the pitch with the squad as well. We got lucky towards the end and scored 2 goals at the end, but this was a match where we had arguably the strongest team available that we had, bar Marcus Rashford, and you struggle like that. And yes, I know Onana was out, but like I said, strongest team bar Marcus Rashford. So, but yeah, it's that game should have been a lot more comfortable. We should have taken our chances. I think we could have scored 5 in the first half if we had finished our chances like that, and you could have rotated the set out and done comfortable. We didn't do that, and we struggled. And this was arguably our strongest lineup, and you struggle like that for a team that is 75 plays, but like Vim said, what would happen if we put like that against a Premier League side? So
We
I
have
got to give it a 5.
we have done that against Premier League sides. Um, thank you, thank you, Devin. Let me introduce Bems, the controversial one. Bems, we just asked the first question, just the overall take on the team performance today. A score from 1 to 10. How would you grade the team today?
Uh, um, Score from 1 to 10. That's I would say, uh, probably a 6, maybe a 6. It was not a great performance, to be honest with you. I know this is this is a team that's in what level are they in again?
Like
Um,
fourth division.
yeah, very, yeah. You should be beating these teams 6-0, 7-0, easy. You should be done. Game should be done and dusted by halftime, or even before the first half is done. The game should be finished. But yeah, it wasn't really a good performance, man. We were wasteful. We're so wasteful in the final third. Wingers not passing, always opting to shoot. I mean, Antony was terrible. Garnacho wasteful, always wanting to shoot. Um, weren't really given the chances for for Hojilund wasn't there. Hojilund was the only one that was looking for the pass, and he's a number 9 that should be getting the chances created for him. Um, it is in Bruno was okay. The defense was okay, but I mean, that second goal was terrible. That second goal was a useless goal. The first one was just a good a good hit,
Good
deflection,
hit and deflection.
good
Yeah,
strike. Yeah, good strike deflection. So that was, but the
top
second
marks.
one was just a terrible way to concede, man. We from 2-0 2-2. And then it makes me like, I know I'm a Ten Hagen person, but I like, I mean, it's hard for me to defend him with, when you like you have your full strength team, and we're still, but yet again, I'm assuming the manager is not. I'm assuming he's not happy with the fact that we're wasteful in the final third. I'm assuming. Does he tell them to just go direct? Does he tell the wingers to go direct all the time? Is in cut in and shoot? Is that coming from him, or is it coming? Is that just the decisions? Is just simply their decision making on the pitch? I don't know. Um, but it's we've been doing this for way too long. Too wasteful decision making, terrible, not taking control of games, especially these weaker teams. I mean, the mentality is terrible. But yeah, so score 6 of a 10 overall performance wasn't really good, in my opinion.
Well, for me, my score would be I'm gonna give this a 4. Well, I would have given it maybe a 5 or a 6 if it was our B team, but this is our first squad. So I don't think we did enough as a team uh to allow. There was like a good 20 minutes where like we let Newport believe like they can actually go for it, right? And to have a team like Newport, like they were, I was telling Tim, like they about to like boost up the pregnancy rate at in Newport City, because Newport County, because it was, they was about to party. Their party still partying. Like hats off to them, they did well, So this team, today's performance, got the 4-2 win, but it's still a 4 to me because this is unimaginable, unimaginable, unimaginably basic for our team. Like the mentality on this team is just abysmal. So that's where I go with that. Man of the match, real quick. Who would you say man of the match? Let's go to Mr. Devin real quick.
Just have to give it to Bruno, I guess. Yeah, there's not really much to be said. I can't really. I'm not gonna highlight anybody in a match like this where we should have won comfortably or not. But if we have to pick somebody, I'll give it to Bruno.
Mr. Vim.
Same for me, Bruno, because he's attacking minded. He's chipping in when strikers are not, and he's going into defending it all over the pitch. He's breaking up plays, finding incisive passes. I think when I mean even the commentator said it when we are watching it. He's the most talented player on the pitch, and by far he was the best player on the pitch. So yes, man of the match for him.
Okay. Bems.
Yeah, Bruno man of the match. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
he
have to
was.
say that. I'm gonna have to go ahead and agree. Bruno, man of the match. What were the frustrating parts about this game? Like, it's like the first 15 minutes, we scored that first goal, we scored the second goal. And for a second, I thought, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Tim was right. These were a bunch of bus drivers. These were a bunch of, milkmen. Like no, we literally got scored on by a milkman. Like what is going on? Like the dude literally used to be a dairy farmer. So I thought we was gonna kick on after that, but then I know there was a part of me in the back of my head that told me there is it's too much too early. This team has this addiction to downing tools, and I felt like that's what happened after that second goal. I started seeing more flicks. I started seeing more, more sauce. So some players started getting gas, and that's when we let them in. So um, I go to you, Vim, first. What was it about this game that you saw that just kept us from executing?
The problem with the team, and I don't know if it's where it's coming from and why we have these problems, that they find a way to beat teams, or they find a way to dominate teams. But once the team adapts, the opposition adapts, they can't adapt very quickly. And this is what happened today. So the first two goals, the teams play, Newport County plays very narrow in the middle. So there's a lot of space on the sides for the fullbacks and the wingers. And that's why the wingers were getting forward, fullbacks were getting forward and cutting the ball back in for Mainu and Bruno to score. And they exploited that quite a few times, and it was working. Second half, the management of Newport County says, "Look, we're playing too narrow. Close down the fullbacks, close down the wingers," and that's what they did, and they made life quite difficult for us. And, we found it in phases difficult to adapt and find other ways to break down the team. And we see this time and time again that once Plan A fails or Plan A has obstacles, we don't seem to have a Plan B. The team doesn't know how to adapt itself. Maybe they're not coached that way. Maybe they just don't know how. Maybe they don't know what to do. They don't seem to, there's a lot of experience in the team. They should gel together and find a way, but they don't seem to have a Plan B unless it's going, Route 1 football, get McTominay on and hope for the best. So that's what frustrates me the most. So Newport County is in the 4th league of English football, and they are 16th in the table. So they're really, really way down. Do you want to know the squad value of Newport? 2.93 million. 2.93 million. Wow.
That's literally Manchester United's T budget.
Yeah, that's probably what they're spending on, I don't know, traveling or something for the whole year.
Ben, same question to you. What was it about this game that you saw that may have frustrated you, that seemed to, was it team execution? Was it tactics? What was it? Why weren't we able to see this game off earlier?
There's a big issue with the players. There's a big issue with the players. We're too wasteful. Like I said earlier, we're too wasteful. We're playing against a weak team. I mean, 16th in the 4th division. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you should be killing these games, man. It shouldn't be, as in you let them in 2-2. Yeah, that's a disgrace. These players should be these players should be embarrassed. I mean, you can't. Every single time when we're in the final third, it was Antony trying to shoot or Garnacho trying to shoot. It was ridiculous. We've been doing this like game after game. It's been happening. If Rashford was in the game, Rashford would have tried to shoot too. We just keep shooting. We're never playing the percentage ball. Percentage is always keeping the ball and trying to make the pass, looking for the pass. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And for some reason they're good at shutting their just like they're just so lazy starting the second half. Every single time we concede beginning the second halves. No matter who the opponent is, it's really tiring, man. It's tiring. I'm up to the point now where I really don't care about anyone. I don't care about any player. I really don't give a damn who your name is. If you're messing up, if your name is a Bruno and you're not playing well, you need to go. If you're Rashford, you're not playing well, you need to go. I don't care. I really don't care anymore. The next thing is the manager. Now, I mean, like I said, I'm a big Ten Hag fan, but then I just think that a lot of things need to go on before him. Need to happen before him, but it just is so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating to watch us play like this against a team like that, and we can't kill the game. I don't know what's going on. It's just terrible. So yeah, that was what really frustrated me was the decision making and the wastefulness. It's ridiculous. So yeah.
Devin?
For me, what agitates me the most is complacency. The team sits there and it's like first 50 minutes, I think, yeah, everything's gonna be easy. We'll just sit here and pass the ball around. Get the first goal, like, okay, cool, let's see. Let's see what happens. Get the next one, all right, cool. They start deviating away from the game plan. You see players start doing things they weren't doing before. All of a sudden, they start getting wasteful in front of goal because they're trying to do too much. And then all it takes is a miracle deflection off a great shot. It was a great shot, but I still think it was going wide. Just saying. Takes a deflection, all of a sudden they're right back into it, 2-1. And then I'm thinking, I'm watching there at halftime, and I'm thinking, if I'm a Newport player, I'm in that dressing room, like, not much needs to be said. Look, we're still in this game. We get one goal quick, catch them off guard, and this game is wide open again. And that's exactly what happened. And United let them into it. So it's just, and United's famous for this, for like either conceding right at the start of a half, or right after we score, because we let our guard down and all this stuff too. It's like they didn't realize, like, these players, these Newport players, I hate to say it, for some of them, it's the biggest match they'll ever play in, or definitely the biggest crowd that they will ever like watch them. And that's a chance for them to show other clubs why they should be signed. So they're going to be coming out not only with nothing to lose, but they have everything to gain. And it seemed like the United players were just like, whatever, just routine day. They're not going to try. They're just going to give up. And that didn't happen. And if this was a better opposition side, we would be out right now, probably talking about if Ten Hag's getting the sack tomorrow. So it's the complacency. Like, you cannot take anybody for granted. I don't care what division that they're in when you play for Manchester United.
Thank you with that, Devin. Yeah, for me, it always just seems like we are always playing the level of the opposition. I think we would have played better today if we played Tottenham, but we would have just played just enough, right, to get a tie for it to go to penalty kicks. I think we just play enough. I like the complacency. That's exactly, Devin, you hit it on the head. The willingness to just be complacent, just give you the bare minimum. It's a very frustrating thing about this squad, and that's why we are unable to. It just doesn't seem like we're able to see teams away. Just finish teams. The same exact problems. So now I'm starting to get worried. Right before it was always about the players and everything. Right. Now I'm getting worried about the manager, because whether I want Ten Hag to get more time or not, it always seemed like maybe his strategy, the team, it's too complicated for the team. Maybe the Premier League is too high of a opposition for us to work out our kinks. But if we are not able to implement a style of play with with Premier League teams, surely, guys, we should be able to do it with these guys. And I did not see that. I did not see us being more potent in the final third, because you would imagine, right? The reason why we haven't been able to be successful in the Premier League is because these are better defenders. But these guys, they're showing off so that they can get in Division 3 and 2 teams. They're not even looking at the Premier League. So why is it that we're unable to execute with this level of talent? And I just don't understand. This is why I have no choice. I have to start asking questions about Eric Ten Hag on the substitutions. Then we'll get into that. Oh Lord Jesus!
Look at that eye, that
Christ.
beady eye.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Yo, Ken. Okay, yeah, okay. What an opportunity, right? Oh, he automatically he must have known that I was talking about Ted Hag. That's why he just popped in.
No,
Let's
I heard what you
introduce
said. I heard what you said.
Mr. Ken, the Fortress one, the masonry, all right, Mr. Masonry, right? The Mason that built the fortress that is Old Trafford. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the chat. Well,
Thank you.
we've been talking about the overall performance of the team. Everybody gave performances just around 4 to 6 overall. Real quick, what would you rate the team overall today?
The performance wise, I don't know, 4, 5,
Four,
5 because we
five,
won. Yeah.
and real quick, what did you see in the game that frustrated you as far as our inability to execute our game plan and really see this game through?
It's a great question. Where do I start? There's no pattern, there's no rhythm of play.
No pattern.
You know, against a team like we're a Newport County anyway in the league. They're non-league, right? Non-league, yeah.
I think we're 16th in League
Yeah.
Two right now. So yeah, non-league.
Yeah.
League 4, Tier
League
4.
Four, Tier 4 football, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, a
Tier 4.
team like this, you know, we should be able to see some patterns of play and some.
Yeah.
I mean, there were moments, but you know, it's the same old thing that we're talking about. Yeah. So I just thought that we made it a lot difficult for ourselves. A game that was easy, they managed to come back. You know, the upset was on the cards. You know, if it wasn't for that, the goal from Antony, you know, the later the game went, we could have it was a potential banana skin. But I
Yeah.
just think, yeah, I don't know, with this team, any other team would have beaten us today. You know, it's that simple. That's it.
Yeah, definitely to piggyback on what Ken just said. Yeah, it just seems like it's unfortunate that we were unable to see a pattern of play. So it just seems like this team, regardless of who the manager is unable to execute on his vision of how we need to play, his vision on how we need to score. Now we might have opinions on how to fix that, right? Do we change the strategy? Do we change the tactics? Does Ten Hag need to change to maximize the players that he has? I don't know what this gentleman can do, right? Because it's hard for me to say that it's the manager because I'm just seeing these guys making footballing mistakes, regardless of who the manager is. These are basics in football. There was a chance that Garnacho had both Hojilund and Bruno Fernandes widely available. He had the time, but there's something about that kid. There's something about the way we practice that makes him think that shooting is a reasonable option in that situation. And I don't think most other teams, even if he scored that goal, right? Even if he scored that goal, I don't think the teams in the top 5 that player is not still going to get spoken to by the manager. You score that goal in a Pep Guardiola team, right? You're getting dropped. You know how we know? He did it to Henry. Scored a goal, but didn't score the way he wanted to. Now we have players that are trying to score goals the way they want to. They want to look the way they want to. So that's why, I'm still holding back a little bit with Ten Hag. I don't understand how we got to this place where you have youngsters, 19-year-olds now. We're not even talking about Rashford anymore. We have 19-year-olds, kids, teenagers, blatantly ignoring the instructions of our manager for their own individual and personal accolades. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. Ken, if you could.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're referring to Garnacho, right? Taking a shot there that hit the post when he should have squared it. It is. It's this. I just don't know. I just don't know
Mind you, he's
what.
not the only one. Anthony was doing the same thing too.
Yeah,
So not to,
Anthony is.
Anthony's doing the same.
And that's where worrying. It gets really worrying because the academy guys. You can go, okay, yeah, maybe they still don't understand the manager, what the manager wants them to do. It's a different manager. They're still trying to learn. But people like Anthony, that's he knows Ten Hag in and out, and he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So yeah, you are right. Questions have to be asked there. But eh, I just don't know where. It just looks like the moment we play a good team in this cup competition, we're going to go up. It's any team that has any sense of style, of an idea of how to play football, whether it's long ball or keeping possession or counter attack or pressing. Any team that knows what they're doing will beat us, and it's just really sad. We were hoping that with Martinez coming back, we'll have to partner Varane, we'll have a solid defense. The keeper today was very good, but again, it's just we're just individual. There's just a bunch of individuals. To answer your question, we just have to. The way I see it, and Rich is right, that we need to get rid of managers until we find the right one that knows how to implement something. We need that discipline. Look, this is how we're going to play football. I don't care. And to be honest, to be honest, that's why I liked well, not like, but I give credit to Louis van Gaal because he didn't care what anyone said. This is how I want to play. He had a clear style, you know. Um, and yes, he wasn't successful. He's partially he won the FA Cup, but we just need someone that can come in and enforce that style. A style that would work with the fans. Yes, Van Gaal had a style, but it was one that the fans didn't like. One that is either possession-based football or counter-attack. Those are the two styles that United fans would go for. Let's work and build patterns and go forward because the young players are not picking up anything. They're just coming in and just running around. Yeah.
Bensky, follow up with that. What would you say is the quickest way for this team to reestablish our style? Is it are you on the side of sacking a manager to get a manager that can get the team to play the way we want or the way he wants, or is it a matter of getting the players into the team to play the way the manager does?
Like I said, I'm not for sacking a manager. I'm against sacking the manager. I'm now I'm not saying that I think Eric Ten Hag is the answer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm over with sacking manager to manager to manager. For obvious reasons. So for me, I think a lot of these players need to be booted out of the club. That's my opinion. Um, we've had. I mean, let's be honest. We didn't really have a style on the Ole. We didn't really have a style. We've not had a style for years, man. So it's well known. We've not really had a style for years. So but yet again, the manager is the one that implements the style. He should be enforcing, telling the players this is the way I want to play. I don't know if it's that if they're confused on the pitch, they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know. But I'm at the point now where I'm just tired of these players. A lot of these players need to be sold. They need to go. They've not they've not performed. So that's where I'm at. I mean, I don't I don't even think you can get, in my opinion, I don't. If you sack Ten Hag and get De Zerbi, bring him into the team and have him try to play his style, you might see a little bit of improvement. But I don't really think you can get these players playing the way we United fans would like to see. I don't think these players can do it. We've been through this with numerous managers. I don't think these players can do it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Get the players out. I mean, that the only thing that changes United is a complete clear out. That's it. Complete clear out, and everything rolls from the top.
Then, what do you think?
Do you want to
let's
let
say.
Devin go? Because I'm concerned he has to go and catch his flight. I'll go
All right,
after Devin. Yeah.
Devin, go ahead. What would you say is
Yeah.
the solution for this team? Like, because it doesn't seem like we're able to establish a pattern. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. We're just seeing the same
At this,
issues.
yeah, I was gonna say at this point, I don't see any benefit to sacking the manager right now to bring in somebody else because obviously the transfer window is going to end in 3 days. We're not going to sign anybody. So if you sack this one manager, bring this guy in, where the players still have all this player power, what good is that going to do? You're basically sabotaging the new manager coming in if you go that route. What I would like to see is like before we start talking about sacking Ten Hag, I want to see where he finished at the end of the season before we make a call. But with that being said, if you have a decent run in with the games, I want to see what he does under the new structure that's being created at Old Trafford right now under the Ratcliffe era. With that being said, I don't want him anywhere near having the final say on transfers or players coming in. But let him come up with an idea of football, like at least the way how they want to play, and let these experts go out and find the players who can fit that system for the right price while making sure they comply with fair play, everything as well too. But no, I'm not for sacking him. Like he's there at least to the end of the season for now, in my opinion. When it comes to these players, player power has to be stomped out completely. You cannot be thinking that you're any better, that you're bigger than the club, that you're bigger than the manager. That manager has to have the top pull. So the second a player starts doing anything bad, okay, you find them, do whatever you got to do, or you ship them out, whatever it is. I mean, obviously, the Rashford news today, we don't know if it's true or not, but that is if it's true, that is a slap in the face to the club, to the fans, to everybody like that. That screams player power, especially after you just signed a ridiculous contract as well too. And so I hate to say because I'm the number one Rashford fan, but if that's true, that's unacceptable. And you and I, Joe, we are both Marine veterans. If you try something like that while in the Marine Corps,
Yo, get him.
exactly.
Yo.
So, but yes, it's let's see what happens when the football structure gets changed when this new regime that's coming in. But no, there's no benefit to sacking Ten Hag and bringing somebody in right now. End of the day.
All right, then.
I agree with what Devin says. We don't really want to sack him at the moment because we'll be in a state of limbo. But there are twofold problems at this club. Number one, the players. We've got a lot of underperforming players. We need to get rid of them first. Number two, I don't think Ten Hag's methods are being translated correctly. I listened to his interview after the game today, and he was criticizing his team because he said they weren't able to cope with the defensive transitions. So defensive transition is when we lose the ball that we have to then fall into a shape to defend against the other team. Now, he's often criticized his team for not being able to make these transitions, whether it's going into attack, rest defense, or defensive transitions. It's up to him as a coach to be able to deliver this and to teach the players how to play according to his methods or these transitions that he wants. And they seem to be failing time and time again. So what does that tell you? The players are shit, which I don't think they are. I think some of them are, but I don't think they all are. Or he cannot translate his methods to the team, and therefore he's failing as a coach at this club. And this is the conclusion I've come to, that he's struggling because he can't communicate his methods and he can't get them to play the way he wants them to play, and so he basically throws them under the bus when really it's his coaching methods that are failing. But if you listen to his commentary, his thoughts after the game, when we don't have a good game, he covers it up saying we played well when we haven't, or he says that the team can't cope, or he says that the team can't play the way he wants them to play, which is the Ajax way. So I think, yes, we don't let him near the transfer budget. We let him see out the season, see where we end up, see if he can turn it around, and then have a complete new start next summer, which is what Ineos want to do. They want to have they've got a spending spree of about 250 million for the summer of 2024, but that means moving on a lot of underperforming players, and Rashford is one of them. But I've got a list of who else they're targeting to move on.
Okay, speaking on player power What, Ben? Did you want to say something?
No, I was just asking Vim. There, you think Rashford is on the chopping block this summer to be let go?
Yeah,
He is.
I think he should be.
Oh,
Yeah, because they basically saying that he's paid his new contract is worth 18 million a year, and that guy's not producing anywhere near what an 18 million pound a year player should be producing. And not only
yeah,
that, with little things along the way, um, like what happened this week.
yeah,
But we know that he's nowhere near where he
yeah,
he, he needs to be. So
yeah.
yeah, I think he may be on the chopping block unless he turns it
Okay.
around.
I'll
Okay.
be happy if he's on the chopping block.
Okay.
But yeah,
Me too.
Concerning this week for the millions of fans out there that don't know what happened. Um, so we're having a situation where Ten Hag did an interview. What was it on Friday? The pre-match interview. He was asked about Rashford, and he said that Rashford was ill. The media consequently came out with a bunch of grain. From what I've seen, they seem to be just at the first, it was just grainy pictures of somebody hanging out at the bar, in Belfast, Ireland. And then the Athletic, the TMZ of football pundit, football reporting, they came out and they basically was able to confirm that, and that's what had happened. That Rashford had been, basically partying the last couple of days and wasn't able to make practice. And after that, both the team and Rashford's representatives had no comment about that. And is that just so we understand, just so we're on the same level? Is that what we understand as to what happened, or am I getting my news from
Yeah,
Yeah, allegedly, yes, pretty much spot on.
allegedly? Yes. Thank you, thank you for that. So you agree as well, Vin, Ben's,
yeah,
Ken?
yeah. I mean, you're right about the grainy pictures. I saw one picture of him, a video rather of him walking into the club, and he's wearing a white outfit and a beanie hat. And then someone's a black beanie hat and a white tracksuit, and there's another grainy picture of him enjoying himself in the bar. Doesn't show him drinking. We can't really see what he's drinking, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so my thing is this is where this is kind of like the situation that I run into as far as like looking at Ten Hag and Ten Hag's future, right? Like there's so many things that our manager has to deal with that other managers are not. Can we just go ahead and just flat out nobody I would I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool had some players that partied last night. They're not getting into the news. So it's almost as if like we have to understand like either our players are not being like coached enough, like on a team professional level, on the do's and don'ts, and it doesn't even seem like we have that department either. We're the same because this isn't something that's happened. This is not an isolated incident. We've had multiple instances with uh Devin, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, I gotta get ready to catch my flight really soon. But where you're getting at with this right now, this is a problem that happens when you prioritize off the field and money coming in versus what you put out on the pitch, where you
Yeah.
sign players just for marketing ability and you make them believe that they matter more than the manager just because they sell certain shirts or whatever, or because they have a certain hype around them. And I kind of feel like it started with bringing Paul Pogba back and giving him the outrageous fee, getting Storms in with the whole video with him and everything like that, making him believe it was something crazy, and set him on an outrageous contract. Only had maybe 2 games where I think he was anywhere near what he should have been, and that's the City game and the Leeds game. But anyway, you start from there. You have Jesse Lingard that was a part of it. Jadon Sancho, as much as I like him, he was part of it, and it seems it's affecting Rashford now. And depending on what you talk about now with Hannibal as well at Sevilla, where the manager just thinks that his ego is just too big for him right now. These players seem to think that just because they put on the United shirt, they've made it. They don't have to work as hard. They can do whatever they want, and because they got away with it for so long, and what like they're in their mind, they're like, why do we stop? So again, I am gonna put my faith in, and I'm cautiously optimistic in the new regime that's coming in. That's going to weed this out. Because from what I'm hearing, the new guy that's coming in, the sporting director, they say the players have 1 to 2 seasons to prove themselves, or if they're underperforming, they're gone, which I think needs to happen at this club. And I think it needs to be something, need to get an authoritarian in right now. I don't care what the players say that, oh, he's too hard, he's too rough. I don't care. You had your opportunities for years and you blew it. No, done with that. Done with player power. The players want this and that. You do what the manager says, or you can get out. And good luck finding the wages you get at Man United elsewhere, if that's how you really feel.
Oh, no. Let me bring in Ken, one of the Eric Ten Hag out contingency. Now, we just been speaking about how like most managers not dealing with the same issues that Manchester United managers are dealing with. Is it possible for the next manager or any manager on this planet that can be successful at Manchester United with players doing what Rashford did this week? How do you get to glory when that is something that your main guy, that's franchise. Marcus Rashford is franchise.
Yeah.
Right? Is that possible to be successful with players acting in that way, in that manner?
Absolutely not. And this is on Ten Hag as well. Giving Rashford that contract. Why did he give him a contract after one season? Do you know what I mean? You're going off, and this is a problem as well, that the club has to take ownership. Why are we hiring managers that don't know anything about Man United? Every manager we hire, for example, most times comes in and they base the information on what they're looking at, and that's been Achilles' heel since Fergie, and it's still going on. We need someone that knows that basically has seen a few Manchester United games and knows the players. So they're not, when they come in, no player can try to fake or put in a absurd performance to get into their good books. So ETH giving Rashford this contract, what was he doing? It's not like Rashford. Just everyone knew that Rashford wasn't good enough to start games week in, week out for Manchester United Football Club. The only reason why Rashford came into the team was because Martial got injured. He would have never been near. He wouldn't have made it at Manchester United. Van Gaal just like Tyler Black and all the other players that didn't make it. So yeah, I mean, and this, like you said, it's a big slap on ETH's face. You're giving him a new contract. He's gone clubbing, come back. And this is not the first time as well. Remember, we lost the derby and he went out clubbing. The same day, fans were livid, tearing the fair out, and this guy goes out clubbing. So it's not acceptable. To answer your question, not acceptable. There has to be consequences, and that needs to be sorted out. To Ben's point about clear out, this is where I blame managers, because we are getting rid of players. It's not like we're not getting rid of players. Yeah, we would like to get rid of more, yes. But Fred left. Why are we worse? Why every time we sell a player, it's like when Fellaini left as well. We were like, yeah, thank God Fellaini's gone, but we were worse off. I don't know if you guys have seen the trend. So the managers coming in as well need to take responsibility. You're bringing in players like Hojilund. You're bringing on players like what's his name, Antony. What impact are these new players? It's all well and good saying let's get rid of players, but we need the right manager to bring in the right players, and let's take it from there. So that's what I would say on
Okay, so
this. Yeah.
just so I heard correctly, you're stating that the reason why we're having this issue with Marcus Rashford is because of Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, because the players don't respect him. He's not respected. He's not respected. He's not respected. Since Ronaldo said what he said, he's not respected. If you respect Ten Hag, come on, someone's giving you your biggest ever contract, right? You bust your balls to you run through brick walls for him. The fact that it's giving Rashford this contract, and Rashford is still disrespecting. This is not the first time, like I said. This is not the first time. In Manchester derby, we lost the game. Everyone's fuming. He still goes out clubbing. So why is he doing that? Do you think?
You believe that is Eric Ten Hag's fault?
I just think,
Marcus
yeah,
Rashford
because
is that his inability to appreciate the contract that he was given and the faith that both the manager and the club has given him, his inability to recognize that is Eric Ten Hag's fault.
I can go. There's a list. Sancho. Why does he
This,
want
this,
to apologize?
this,
Yes, Sancho. I put it down to character, but when you're close, your closest players, Rashford is one of ETH's closest players. For him to behave like this speaks volumes. Whether we like it or not, it speaks volumes. He does not have any backing at all. Uh, yeah, it has to be. Rashford wouldn't do this under any other manager that he respects. He does not respect the manager. He does not. Why are all the players disrespected? First, there was next. It was Varane. Varane had a fallout. Why are we having so many? Then Casemiro. There's so many rumors, and that's because the players do not respect him. That's how I see it. Keen to hear
okay,
everyone else's comments.
okay, okay. I'm just checking out the video that Bim just sent. It would seem that Rashford, not only did he go out, he chose to wear the loudest outfit out there.
Yeah,
This dude was out there looking like
in white. It's not a
in all.
tracksuit. It's
He's
jeans
not.
and a white jacket.
Listen, he's not. Okay, okay. Let me. It seems like Ben's eager to chime in on the situation with Rashford. Go ahead,
Me or Bems?
Ben's.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Sorry about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, can you elaborate on a situation with Rashford and the team?
Man, I don't. I'll say this. I don't know how. I can't see how it's Eric Ten Hag's fault. It's I mean, it's Eric Ten Hag's fault for like Eric. I mean, you can't blame Eric Ten Hag for Rashford's behavior. You can. I mean, you can question him. Why did he sign off on that on the contract for Rashford? But but Rashford is the one that made the decision to go out clubbing. Rashford is the one that made the decision not to not to represent the club properly. Rashford is the one that so actually he's pissing about, he's throwing he's basically letting the club and the fans know that he doesn't care. Because if he forget the manager, if he really cared, he won't be doing this. If he cared about the club, if he cared about the fans, he won't be doing what he's doing, in my opinion. I mean, Rashford is I mean that kind of behavior, man, and you've not had a good season. You should be using this time to, I mean, is it being at home or practicing, being on the pitch, practicing, spending more time on the pitch practicing, and you're outside clubbing.
At the
It's
very least, it should have gone out maybe a little bit earlier, not this week. There's been ample time for him to.
exactly. Yeah, he could have gone out earlier. Like, why you going out the day before you're supposed to
Same week.
report for training the same week? It's ridiculous. So it's not on Ten Hag. That's on Rashford. You can't blame Ten Hag for this, in my opinion. But
All
yeah,
right.
it's a big disgrace.
All right, Ben, what say you?
So yeah, I think that these discipline issues that we have at the club are consequential of Ten Hag's discipline at the club. And the reason I say that is the way he's been sidelining players. The way he handled the Ronaldo situation, the way he handled the Rafael Varane situation, the way he handled the Sancho situation. So these guys, these players are all friends with each other. Sancho and Rashford are good friends, and I think the way he picks enemies and picks fights with players. Okay, fine. If you don't want to play in your club, whatever, sell him on. But until he's there, you've got to make the club and the team be harmonious. But the way he just singles players out, sends them to commentary, humiliates them publicly and amongst the team. I think all these behaviors we're seeing now are a consequence of his discipline issues, or his way of discipline. You said it some weeks ago, Joe, about using the stick too much. And I think this is a consequence of using the stick too much, that the kids don't no longer listen to him. And they're showing their signs of disrespect by saying, well, we don't agree with your methods. We think you're being too harsh on our players. You're sidelining our friends. You're making people hate you. And as a collective, they're now fighting back. This is what I think is going on. So I don't think Rashford's individual behavior is because of Ten Hag. Ten Hag making him do that. I think he's doing things which are culminating in this type of fight back behavior from the players, because they just don't like the way he's being too heavy handed with them, using too much of that stick.
That's a good question. And I'll give everybody, like a minute to answer. Why does it seem like Erik ten Hag is the only one that's required to have a professional approach to his job, irregardless of what's happening in the organization? We all work for somebody, right? Vim, you work for somebody. I don't know if there's any entrepreneurs here. Ken, Vim. I know I work for a company. Vim works for a company. Vim, Ken. We all work for organizations that may or may not have the best leadership from time to time. People go in, people get promoted, people get demoted, people leave, people come in, right? At any point, would it be acceptable for you to then just completely down tools or just completely violate complete policy simply because you don't like your manager? Then, because you mentioned this is because of the way Erik ten Hag has been applying punishment. Could you? Why do you feel that regardless of Erik ten Hag's style of leadership, of management, why does it seem like players should not then be able to just
because
be a basic professional and not go out the same week your team is supposed to be playing in the FA Cup?
Yeah, I agree. Players should always be respectful and always be professional, and a lot of the players are. People like Martinez and Bruno, and
Yes, we're not talking about the ones that are. We're talking about the ones that was at the club last week.
Yeah, the ones that are not. I think they're, not everyone is the same. Not everyone is robotic. Not everyone has that professional mindset. Some of these players are just kids, who we've turned into millionaires, and they really haven't grown mentally. They haven't become men. They haven't really, developed that personality to deal with these type of situations and deal with conflict, and they just lash out in the way they know how, or show disobedience in the way they know how. I mean, you see Bruno is always a consummate professional. The way he talks, the way he gives interviews, the way he accepts responsibility for us losing. He's always out there, giving interviews. David De Gea used to do it as well. He's a consummate professional. Martinez, there's lots of people that do it, but I think some players, they just haven't matured. And when the teacher tells them off too much, they show disobedience by going to the clubs, by partying, by missing training, by waking up late. This is their way of showing their retaliation. Sancho, for the past 4 months, all I'm hearing stories about is that he was basically going to clubs every weekend, because he's been sidelined, so he's showing his disobedience. And yes, okay, fine, he's been sidelined, he can do what he wants. And I think, some of that is then bleeding across to other players like Rashford and whoever else is not happy with the management. So I think not every character is the same. Some people just need a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more growing up, or they need they need to be looked after, have their hands around them. The way Ten Hag handled Rashford in the first season when he scored 30 goals, and he was very inclusive. That works. But once you start sidelining people and showing that you're not inclusive, these characters will start to fathom. They'll show. This is what I think is going on.
Let me just comment.
I'm going to give it right now. Now, Manchester United, it's always been part of our ethos that we play the youth, we play our academy, right? But it's not until recently that we are starting to see immature issues, developmentally issues, Um, I'm gonna ask this question to Ken. Ken, do you feel like we have an immaturity issue with some of our players, our younger players?
Yeah, I think if to your point, I mean, you mentioned working in a corporate setting, and how you respect the company regardless of who the manager is. But the corporate setting is completely different from a sports enterprise or football, as particularly a football enterprise is completely different. Footballers thrive on respect. The key thing for footballers is respect. If a player does not respect you, if a collection of footballers or individuals do not respect you at a football club, then you see all these things happening. You know, when Sir Alex was there, we had better players that had the tendency to do this stuff. You either, for Sir Alex was very plain, you either do this or you're out. That's why a lot of players that were very good didn't make it at Man United, got kicked out. And the players that were good, even though they had the tendency to want to go out and party, but because they had that utmost respect for the manager, they fell in line. And that's how Pep is as well. If you look at Pep, you know, he's respected, so therefore the players will respect you. But when a collection of footballers, when footballers do not respect you, they'll do anything they know they want. And that's what's going on at Man United. We've hired managers that haven't been able to command respect, the respect of the players. How do you do that? How do you command the respect of the players? It's what you have on your CV. You know, that when you hire a manager, you look at his CV, you go, wow, okay, this is that. But then you also need to perform on the in the pitch. You know, you need to make sure that you find a style of play, a system that fits your identity, and manage to bring the best out of those players. We've never had a manager that has done that. We've had good managers, we haven't had a manager that can do that. Now, if Rashford was playing under Pep, he would not have gone to that club. That is 100%. If Rashford was playing under club, no chance. But
If, if, if you
yeah,
don't mind, I would like to push back just a little bit on the notion that the players require respect from the manager on the offset, because we've had every single kind of manager that you can think of. We've had club legends, we've had world legends, we've had Premier League legends, right? If if you cannot respect a manager like Jose Mourinho or Eric Ten Hag because of the accolades that you've seen what he has produced on the pitch, right? It's almost as if like this, it's like self-defeating cycle, right? You need respect for you to implement his style of play. But when you don't implement his style of play, you then lose games, which then makes you respect them even less and less willing to implement his style of play that would require that would be the catalyst to give you respect. Like do you feel like these guys respect Eric Ten Hag enough to at least try to implement his style of play? Or are you saying that his style of play just was dead to begin with, just like Ole's, just like Jose, just like what's his name? Like what is it? How do we break this cycle? Because it does look like a cycle right now, right? We don't respect the manager until we start winning, but you don't respect the manager enough to implement and fully implement as a professional his style of play without going out or doing whatever you want on the pitch.
I'll answer your
So how do we
question.
fix that?
So
How do we fix
it's a great question. I'll answer your question. So when Rashford was faffing about and Ten Hag continued to play him, that was when the respect was lost for Marcus with Marcus Rashford. For me, you know that a player is not performing, yeah, is not performing. Every fan, every man and his dog knew that Rashford should not be playing 90 minutes. But oh yeah, he's gonna save us. He'll come good. Take him out.
Wait.
Take
Let
him
me
out.
let me pause you
Do
real
you know what
quick.
I mean?
Let me pause you real quick. When I'm talking about respect, I'm talking about respect from the player, right? I'm talking about respect from the player, like the respect that Eric Ten Hag is losing for playing Rashford week in week out. That's something I believe the fans and the punditry and the media are putting out there. But why doesn't Rashford respect Ten Hag, right? even though Ten Hag has literally put his career, his tenure at Manchester United in the hands of Rashford. This is the same Rashford that when he was taken off in the 88th minute, I guess the game against Tottenham,
I remember, yeah.
he went to the bench, like just pouting. So is there any is there any reconciling with this play that seems like he's not having it? He does not seem like he's having it at all, regardless of what Ten Hag does. It seems like Ten Hag is being abused the most by the players he put out there the most. Like Sancho, he went above and beyond for Sancho. Dead relationship. He went up. He has gone above and beyond with Rashford. That's so. Why should Ten Hag continue to try to elevate some of these players that just are not having it with him? Ken.
No, yeah, I mean,
I'll go to the rest of the team.
Yes. So based on if Ten Hag wants to instill this is when you have to instill discipline into the team and not throw someone under the bus. There's a way to do this thing. Just say, oh yeah, just play it down, right? But don't say anything in public and don't play him. That's how to regain discipline. But is he going to do that? I feel like the things he does, when he's meant to be firm and strict, he doesn't do it. I don't know if you guys have noticed if it's just me. When it's time to say, okay, I'm going to be strict with you, but I'm not going to tell the media, I'm going to drop you, and then there's going to be consequences for it. He doesn't do it. He then does it when you're like, okay, he's having a row with Casemiro. What happened? Like, we can't see anything. He's having a row with Varane. What's going on? That's what I think. So let your strictness be based on things like this, not Rashford's not training well. Things like this. Let's base it on the pitch.
Well, he didn't train.
What's on the pitch?
He didn't. It's not that he didn't train well. He didn't train because
he didn't train at all. Exactly.
He went on a bender.
Exactly. So with situations like this, he can actually say, you know what, you're going to be disciplined, but don't throw him under the bus. Yeah, because I think the damage has already been done anyway. When you've given him a contract and you continue to play him when you knew that he didn't even want to be, he didn't even want to play him. We carried on playing him and playing him and playing him, hoping that he'll come out of it. Yeah, now he's thought, you know what, I'm one of the key players in this team, regardless of what I do. I know I'm going to play anyway, so I'm going to go clubbing. That's what he did, Yeah.
After Bems, do you feel the same way? Manchester United is a team known for playing their youth. Why does it seem like all of a sudden within the last few years that we are having disciplinary issues, especially with our younger stars? What do you think? And is it too much to ask Ten Hag to manage what would seem to be a squad of boys instead of men?
Sounds like player power to me, man. Yeah, this is simple. That's the one word I can say. It sounds like player power. I mean, you're saying like the play, like the manager, the I guess the manager should put himself in a situation where the players respect him. The players should respect the manager from the jump, regardless of whatever decision he makes. He's the manager. You should follow suit. You should follow the rules. He sets the rules. Respect
the
him.
rank.
Yeah, respect the rank. I don't care if that's the way he chooses to manage. If he decides to out a player in public because he's doing something that he doesn't want the player doing, that's his business. That's the player should fall in line. Okay, he doesn't like that, then I should not put myself in that situation where he does it to me. Simple. This is simple player power. This is what it is. If we're taking the side of the players over Ten Hag, then we are saying that the players are more powerful than the manager. That's basically what we're saying indirectly. And that's another reason why United will not be successful if we continue to do that. Regardless of who, I mean, and then about CV, what's on your CV? Well, I mean, the player shouldn't have to respect the manager unless he has a good CV. That's wrong. I don't care. He
Vems,
might be a
Vems.
manager that's not won anything. He's
You
your
put
manager. You report to him.
no.
You fall in line. It's simple. That's it. It's simple. You should not like no player should be bigger than the manager. Ferg used to say that. No player should be bigger than the club. And whatever, if you're saying all these things that that I mean, basically what you're saying, you're basically citing player power. It's
No,
simple.
no, no,
There's
no. That's
no
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
indirect.
That's
That's
not what
what
I'm
you.
saying. It's like,
You're not saying it
would
directly,
you put,
but
Hold on, Ken.
indirectly is what you're doing.
Let him land the
no,
plane.
that's not what I'm
Mm.
saying.
But
Let him land the
indirectly, that's
plane,
what you're
cool.
doing, though. That's what you're saying.
No, nope.
Indirectly, I'm saying you mentioned about CV. The last I checked, okay, let's talk about CV. Eric Ten Hag has a CV. He's won stuff at Eredivisie. It's not one, and he talking, and then but he's won something in well, he did win a cup last season, the Carabao Cup. It's a cup. So what CV again are you talking about? Why should the players have to? Why does a manager have to have a good CV for him to be respected?
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Can I answer that then?
Okay, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah. So would you take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Real Madrid?
Whoa. I need you to no. We're gonna strike that from the record. Ken, I need you to answer the question.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm answering the question. He said, "Why should we look at a manager's CV?" Just like you won't take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Real Madrid as a manager, the players would not respect him. It's a full-blown fact. You would not take Graham Potter to Barcelona. He would not be respected. The fans would not respect him, and most importantly, the players would not respect him. So me saying that it's not, you know, pro player power. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you made the decision to give him a new contract. You carried on playing him when he was out of form, when everyone knew that he should have been dropped. So why are we surprised that he's disrespected the manager? Of course he's going to do that. Of course he's going to do that.
no,
Ten Hag's not.
again,
Just let me land. Ten Hag's not disciplining when he should be disciplining. He's disciplining when he should not. When it's time to. This is all man management. This is what Vin was saying. Man management skills. He does not have it, and that's why we're where we are.
Let me ask Vin something real quick. Vin, do you believe also, just like Ken, that Eric Ten Hag has a respect issue, and that warrants the behavior of some of our or I wouldn't say warrant, but it's something that has led to the behavior of some of our younger players. Do you believe that he is being disrespected? He is not respected at that squad, which is leading to some of these issues.
Not by everyone. I think some players do respect him, but yeah, there are certain players that don't respect him. Rashford is one of them. Sancho's another one of them. Obviously, Ronaldo said that he did not respect him because he doesn't show me any respect. Footballers want to be respected, and if the manager doesn't show any respect to them, then they're not going to show it in return. So I think yes, some players don't respect him, and they also probably don't respect him because he's so stubborn and he's so rigid in his ways. A system doesn't work or a style of play doesn't work. He doesn't change it up. He doesn't allow other players to flourish. He persists with Anana, who keeps fumbling and letting in goals. I think Alte Bande was a good keeper today. Looks, he gets down quickly. He's more agile. He moves faster. He should have been given a chance a lot earlier, perhaps throughout Champions League. Why doesn't he tell? Even the commentator said to stay, and this is on the BBC. They said, why doesn't Antony ever practice going down to the byline and crossing in with his right? Doesn't have to be a fantastic cross, but why doesn't he ever practice that? Why doesn't Rashford learn to pass the ball around players instead of running through traffic? So the manager should also be encourage him to change his style of play, but he's probably not doing it. I'm sure if he told them to do it that they didn't listen and they didn't do it, then they'll get reprimanded. Perhaps there is that option that he doesn't tell them to change their style of play. He just adopts one method: keep the ball, keep possession, find a way to score. Why doesn't he tell Garnacho and Antony to cross the ball into Rasmus? Rasmus is being starved of service. So I think players can pick up on all this stuff, that our manager is inflexible. He doesn't adapt his style. He goes with one style of football, and it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, we get blamed for it. That's going to cause disrespect and disharmony amongst the team. So yeah, I think there is. He's laying down the seeds for his own demise just by his the way he conducts his management. So that's what it feels going on.
Okay, Ben, so you want to round it up and this current topic as far as respect and Eric Ten Hag in the squad?
I don't agree with the I mean I like I said before, I think the players should respect the manager regardless of his decisions. He's the manager. He's the one that is in he's in that position to lead the team, to select the team. As in I don't agree that a man that a player should be given the like they should choose to respect the manager when he's doing because he's doing things differently or he's doing this or because we're winning games now they should respect him. I just don't agree with that. I think this is just simple player power, like I said before, and I think regardless of who the manager is, the manager could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He could whatever he could decide to set his team up in a certain way. You need to respect it. Just fall in line. That's the way. Now, if you're losing games, I mean, it, that happens too. But you need to put in your best for the team, put in your best for the club, put in your best for the badge, regardless of who's above you. And you should not be going out having parties and not and reporting saying you're ill so you can't come to training the next day. That says a lot about your character.
So can I just put a question, a scenario to you? So let's supposing you're playing in that team and you've got, I don't know, you've got Maguire who keeps making mistakes after, game after game. You've got Ericsson who doesn't track back and pick up players and he hasn't got any legs on him. Or you've got Nane in goal that just keeps letting goals in, goal after goal after goal. You go to your manager and say, look, I think we should, change Onana for a little while, give him a rest. Or, give Maguire a rest, take him out of the limelight and play another defender.
Yeah.
But your manager is so stubborn and he doesn't listen to you. Does your respect decline ever so slightly for that manager?
I mean, I won't be happy at his decisions. I'll say, look, boss, I don't agree with these decisions you're making. I will let him know. I don't agree with decisions you're making. I don't agree that Maguire should be playing these many games because he's causing us a lot of he's causing us to concede a lot of goals. I mean, I will let my I will let my thoughts be heard, but then if we continue to lose games, that's his fault that we're losing games.
Yeah.
But I will not down tools because of that. I'll still do my job.
Imagine though that you go to your because you're on the pitch, you're playing the football, you can see exactly what's going on from a player's perspective, and you tell your manager, look, it's not working because of this XYZ. We need to swap out Onana. He's, there's too much pressure on him. Maguire's making mistake after mistake. Eriksen's too tired. Rasmus can't score. He needs support as a second striker, and he just dismisses everything you say because he's so stubborn. And then he says, "No, my system will work. Let's persevere. We will get there in the end." And I'm AX people have told me he's very stubborn. He doesn't change his ways. And so if he doesn't listen to you and he dismisses you, and which basically you may take that, some people may take that as a sign of disrespect. Well, he doesn't give a damn what I say. Then that relationship is so fractious, it can ever so slightly disintegrate.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like like my relationship with but it's still not a reason for me to down tools and not do my job though.
I agree. It's not a reason. But what I'm saying is that the cumulative effect of that game after game, week after week, where you basically, got to a top club in the country, your team is suffering week after week because of the decisions the manager's making, or the lack of changes, or the lack of opportunity that is given to certain for new players to come in. Like we saw Palestri coming in and doing a great job on the right hand side, but then he goes back to Antony, who just it frustrates all of us. It's just little things like that, you know.
I won't be happy with it. I won't be
No,
happy with the decisions. I'll let like I said, I'll let the manager know my feelings.
yeah.
Is
But
is
if he
I'll
doesn't
let him
listen,
know. And if he continues not to listen, then he's gonna have to carry that cross because he will get the sack because
yeah.
Yeah.
But
results are not going. Yeah,
yeah, there is also this, you know, the way certain people behave. They will say, well, if he doesn't listen to me and I'm trying to help this team win, then F him. You know,
yeah.
if he's going to take us down the table, then so be it. And they'll be privy to that. They'll be part of that. And they do down tools, as we're seeing with Rashford and various
Yeah,
others, that they don't believe in his methods anymore, so they stop playing for him.
yeah, and
But
that's
the
the problem though.
foolishly enough, Ten Hag continues to play players that have down tools, and other players will pick up on that and thinking, well, what's this guy doing? Rashford doesn't give a damn about this club, doesn't care about this team. Why does Ten Hag keep persisting with him? And so they will start to lose respect because, you know, he's making these little mistakes week after
What
week that maybe he doesn't pick up on, but others do.
I'm gonna ask
And
you. I'm gonna throw this question back. What makes you feel like how are you so sure Erik ten Hag is not forced to play Rashford more than other players?
But he's got
Considering this is a player power team.
well,
Exactly. What makes you feel he's not forced to do that?
he's sidelined bigger personalities than Rashford. He did it with
Okay,
Ronaldo.
again, but you can't compare Rashford and Ronaldo. Ronaldo is
No,
a big
Ronaldo,
personality, but Ronaldo
yeah,
is not the future of the club.
neither
Rashford
is
is
Rashford.
looked at.
Rashford is not the
Rashford.
future of the club.
I'm sorry, but the club look at Rashford as
The club
I'm
does.
not
as
sure.
the
He's
golden
I'm not
franchise.
child.
sure they do.
Listen,
Oh,
he's
the club
franchised.
they do. He's
Whoa, whoa,
franchised.
whoa. Ken,
He
Ken,
wouldn't be given that
let me
contract
send
if he
that to
wasn't.
you. Ken,
wasn't
yeah,
do you believe Manchester United considers Marcus Rashford as their franchise future, like their player for the future, their
under the
star?
glaze, under the Glazers, yes, they do. Under the Glazers, yes, but now Jim Ratcliffe's come in. That's going to change. However, however, let's all remember that Erik ten Hag was given the keys to the castle when he came in, because that was one of the terms of his contract. He wanted to come in and he wanted to be in charge of player management, player recruitment, and all that stuff. Hence the reason we overpaid for Antony. So going back to what we're talking about, that is on him. If Ten Hag wants to, based on what we know, especially the first season, if Ten Hag said at the start of this season, I'm not going to play Rashford, or he's not ready, no one in the club would talk to him. So
But when
that's
Erik
that's
ten Hag
yeah.
took the job, though, he was told that we would like you to get Rashford to to be what was it like? We would like to get you to get the best out of Rashford. That was part of
That's
his
yes.
contract.
That may have no. That may have been mentioned, and not just Rashford, the younger players that we have invested. So
Yeah,
the likes of
yeah,
Sancho,
yeah.
Rashford, the young up and coming players. We want you to develop our young up and coming players, which
Okay,
is yeah. That
yeah.
was the mantra.
If he said
But
if he said, "Oh, I don't think Rashford is the future of this club," you think he would have got the job? He
no, he
probably
would
wouldn't have
have.
gotten the job.
He would have because
He wouldn't have.
No, he
no, the
wouldn't
reason
have.
I said
He
Come
the
wouldn't have
reason I
given
said he
him the
would have.
job.
Let me
Ken,
explain. Can I explain? Can I explain?
Ken,
Can I explain? The reason why he would have got the job was
Ken.
because one of the things he said was he wanted to get rid of Ralph Rangnick. Eric Ten Hag was the reason, one of the key reasons why we got rid of Ralph Rangnick, because he didn't want to work with the director of
What
football.
proof? What proof do you have? Can you give me receipts?
I can go like I'll send you a link.
Okay,
I'll
because
I've
send you
heard
a
a
I
link.
don't
similar
believe.
Hey,
story
let me hear
that
this
I
one. Let me hear
I
this one,
don't believe
Ben.
that.
no, the
Okay.
story I've heard as well is that when Ragnick was about to exit from the club, he offered to stay as sporting director, and it would have been Ten Hag's choice to um, as to whether he wanted this to happen. And Ten Hag refused to meet him. And these are the stories I heard that he wouldn't even have a meeting with Ragnick. And
No,
so
it's not even
then
a
Man,
story,
they
come
Vin.
never
on,
offered
man. You
they
No, no,
guys
never
don't
no,
offered the
believe
Vin,
all
job.
these things you hear on you see on
Vin.
the
Sorry,
media.
sorry,
But
so
you can't
guys.
we can't disprove it, can we, Bems?
Sorry, Vin.
The
One
stories
I
second.
were out that they
agree.
never met.
Yeah,
Vin,
but
That is true that
even
they
he
didn't
left
Ragnick,
met.
before
even
Erik ten Hag
Ragnick
came.
said it. No. Ragnick said it. He has not called me. Yeah, I don't know how you guys missed it. Vim's right. Ragnick said it. I am waiting for. Ragnick was. He was very open. He talked about everything, open heart. So he said, I'm waiting for Eric Ten Hag to call me. I'm actually willing to give him my analysis. But Eric Ten Hag did not call him. He didn't want anything to do with him.
I think both things are true. I think Ragnick was waiting for Eric Ten Hag to call, but I think that call to not pick up was made by the Glazers. I think the Glazers hired.
Let me send you a link.
I think the Glazers hired Eric Ten Hag and was like, "Hey, we're not picking up any calls from Mr. Ragnick because Mr. Ragnick is trying to do all this stuff. Ragnick is basically got sacked because he's trying to do a lot of the things that
because he
Ineos
talks
is
so
doing
much
right now.
Got open heart surgery.
He's trying to do some of the things that Ineos is doing right now.
Exactly.
Have a look at this link, guys.
Didn't like the way.
I think he.
Have a look at this link, guys.
I think he got sacked. I think he got sacked because he was talking too much. It's simple. He was saying the truth. He was saying what needed to happen, but the club was like, nah, we can't have this guy saying all this stuff. It's not rocket science, man. Like Rangnick said everything that needed to happen, and finally, and the club dismissed it. It's just that simple.
That was it. There was an agreement for Ragnick to stay on as a consultant for a 2-year contract
after
1 year of coaching.
Yes, but between Ragnick and the club,
there had to have been a call by the Glazers. There had to have been a call to not continue, to not turn the page in that.
Guys, we're telling you what
inside you can't tell me Eric Ten Hag has told the Glazers, hey, by the way, I want you to sack Ragnick. I don't want him as part of my.
That's what he said.
So quick question between Vim and Ken.
It says here in the report. It says in the report, Eric Ten Hag was at the heart of Ralph Ragnick's decision to abandon a consultancy role with Manchester United.
He did not want to fight.
I don't.
Okay. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. We'll close this particular topic. We're going to move on to our future endeavors. Thursday we are playing Wolverhampton Wanderers on Thursday. Do we have any predictions for that game? Because today's lineup seemed like the lineup that was going to be playing that game, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody has any predictions as to what we're going to look like that game? Vim.
Where are Wolves now? They're 11th, right? So we're in 8th.
I got them. Yeah. 20th. No matter.
No, but they beat.
Away.
It's away. Oh, Wolves. They historically under what's his name? The previous manager, the Latin manager. They used to always give us a tough game. Very, very good defensive, low block. We find it's difficult to beat them. I don't know who's managing Wolves nowadays. Anyone know? Anyone remember? They've taken on a new boss, haven't they?
I can't remember his name.
Gary O'Neill. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a very winnable game, especially with if we use the first team that we played today. I think it's a very winnable game, but it really depends on the tactics we deploy on that day and whether we have a plan B and a plan C. If plan A doesn't work. And a goalkeeper. I prefer we have Alta in goal, honestly.
Oh, okay. To Ken, what's your prediction? And okay, so Vim already answered 2 out of the 3 questions. Vim, quick question. Thursday, Rashford in or out?
Oh, out. The man is out of form and he's out in the clubs.
All right. So Ken, what's your prediction for the game? Is Rashford in or out? And is Onana in or out? He's back. He got his tan. He's got. Mute.
Speaking on mute.
Muted.
You hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So Rashford, no, not in the squad at all. I don't want him anywhere near the squad right now. In terms of predictions, you can't predict this team. I'm sorry. There's not. You just can't predict Manchester United Football Club. We could go out there and win comfortably 2-0, which is unlikely, but we could go there and get absolutely annihilated. So we don't know. I'm not predicting any United games, especially after today's game. This has been going on for a while, but today's game just confirms that. So we just see what we get. Should Onana start? No. Absolutely not yet, because regardless, I rate him highly, but he's going through a bad patch, so he does not deserve to start. Like Vim said, Bahindia was good today. You know, he just brought confidence to the team. Yes, we conceded 2 goals, but the 2 goals were not his fault. Um, yeah, I think we just
could have
need
done a
at
little
this
better
point.
with that second one.
Second one, no, Varane should have
It
got
wasn't
the
his fault. It was Varane. It was Varane's fault.
Varane
Varane
was
was too
Varane's fault,
sleeping.
slow.
yeah.
Yeah, he just lacked the
Yeah.
pace to get in front of that striker.
The,
Striker was more hungrier. Yeah, he just got in
Yeah, he
front of him.
got to the ball first. Did you see the way that old Tay was playing, by the way? Sorry to interrupt, but he was playing the way that Ten Hag wanted to play, play it from the back. He'd, keep the ball, start playing from the back, and he was making some good passes. I thought he played pretty well. And
He
he
played
came
well, had
out
a good game.
way out of his box as a sweeper keeper. So
Mhm.
everything that Onana would do, but he did it better.
Oh boy. Okay. Benz, let's
I would say when
what's
it
your
comes
prediction?
to
Your prediction for the game is Rashford playing and is Onana playing in a row.
Rashford not playing, Onana, I wouldn't play him either. But we all know Erik ten Hag is probably gonna go back to Onana. Um, I think Bayinda played well today, but then it's against it's against Newport, so I would err on the side of caution. I'd like to see him against a better team, and see how he performs. Then I'll be able to judge better. And that's it, just in my opinion. Um, yeah, but yeah, Rashford out. Um, I won't be surprised if Onana plays, but because Erik ten Hag likes him. But we should follow. You see, Onana was dropped by the national team.
Mhm.
If the national team can
Yo,
drop him,
yeah.
I don't see why like United can't drop him.
Can't drop
It,
him. Yeah,
it doesn't
they should
make
get
any
dropped.
sense.
This is why you need
But
to talk
yeah,
to your boy Ten Hag. He's just
yeah. So
your friend Ten Hag.
I'll say I don't agree with all the decisions he makes. Trust me, I don't agree with that. This is one of the decisions that I don't agree with him.
No
But
shade here.
he chooses to do it every single time, and that's on him. And if he
Okay.
start losing a bunch of games and he gets a sack, that's on him. But I just yeah.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Rashford out for the Wolves game. What's our front three looking like? Vim.
I think it has to be the same as today, really.
They play Antony again on the right.
Yeah, but the weird thing about it was that Antony did the cutback on the left, if you noticed, to Bruno. He was on the flip side where Garnacho used to be.
Yeah,
So I don't know if
he was
Yeah,
not supposed
yeah,
to
he
be there
did.
though. Like,
yeah.
what's he
But was
doing
it
there?
planned or unplanned? I don't even know.
No, I've
But he
been
was
seeing that the
effective.
last couple of weeks. I've seen that last couple of weeks, him going over there.
Yeah, they swap over, maybe.
No,
No.
Garnacho was still on the left side. Like
Oh, is it?
Anthony was just there. like just
And he did good.
yeah, okay.
He
We'll
did
see.
good. He was able to cut back the ball with his stronger foot. So maybe that left-hand side suits him. Get to the byline, cut it back.
All
And,
right.
if it's effective and we're scoring goals and it allows the midfield to chip in with the goals, then why doesn't Ten Hag just try that for a game or two?
All Ten
But he
Hag
I
could
won't.
agree with
basically
that though.
Ten
I
Hag
agree with
could
that.
basically just say, hey, Garnacho, you saw what Anthony just did on your side? I
Yeah.
want you to do that on your side.
Yeah.
You know?
But
Uh,
Garnacho can play on the right-hand side as well, though, isn't
Yeah.
he? He does.
that's true.
He's pretty flexible, so he could just try Antony on the left. Antony's getting so much criticism at the moment.
This is exactly Vin. This
So-
is what I'm saying. You have a left-footed player that's not. Yes, I can see the concept of playing him on the right, so he can invert and come in. But he's so predictable. He's doing it too much. If you look at the difference between Bukayo Saka and Antony, Bukayo Saka can go either way. Yes, he's out of form at the moment, but he can cross with his right foot. He can take the ball onto the right and cross it. He can come in. He can go out. With Antony, so he's left-footed. Why can't you play him on the left and just see? Tell him get to the byline. Okay, especially when when we're playing against teams with low blocks, right? You need someone that can whip in a pass first time to unsettle settle defenders, because as a defender, if you play football, the last thing you want is, if you position yourself and you see you can judge how the ball, the velocity of the ball, the direct trajectory of the ball, it's easy to defend, right? But when you're backtracking and the ball's coming from like, and you don't have time to position yourself to head of the ball, that's when it goes over your head or someone gets a run on you and scores. And that's something that we're seeing this, and we're Joe said, we work for companies. We're not even professional footballers. Why can't a manager that's paid millions do these things? Just try it out. Try it out. That's all we're saying.
So you're saying you agree with the with Vim's front three? We're gonna stick with what we have today. No Rashford, Garnacho, Hojilund, and Antony up top. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, if he could try to play Antony on the left, I want to see Antony on the left. Let's see what he can do. Can he get some crosses in? Can you maybe take a first time shot with his left foot since his right foot is minus 40? You know,
No, for real. That right foot is a Walking Dead settings. Bams, you lineup
Yeah.
front three.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing I wouldn't mind seeing the same front three, but just swap Antony and Garnacho. Just swap their sides and put them on their natural foot side.
Yeah.
So force them to square and cross. Force them to pass. So put them in a situation where they have to do that.
I feel the same way. If I'm not too, I don't know how things are gonna look if Antony starts on the left, but I know it will force him to hit the byline because if he because he doesn't have a right foot, he's not gonna cut in to try that donkey shot. At this point, it's no longer a one-trick pony, right? Like your pony got to be hitting it at least 50% for it to be a one trick, for you to be a one-trick pony. Like that's just a dead shot as far as we're concerned, right? Does everybody else agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's a dead shot, right? By Antony on the left side, on the left foot.
Yeah, that's dead.
So no changes to the midfield. Everybody's good with Casemiro, Manu, and Bruno.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm okay
I think
with
that's
that
the best. That's the best midfield we've got.
Yeah.
Solid.
I agree.
Back four. I would bring in Wan-Bissaka, but everybody agrees we're sticking with the back four, or you bringing in Wan-Bissaka on the right?
If we were to swap Antony and Garnacho, then I would want Wan-Bissaka there, because when you keep swapping them over, you're gonna create space behind for people to attack, and so Wan-Bissaka is a better defender, so he would clean up. And Luke Shaw is okay on the left hand side. He's not a great defender, but I think Wan-Bissaka will add a little bit more solidity because he's just a great tackler.
So you're saying Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, AWB,
and AWB, and I would like to see the wingers swap over. And even if they just do it temporarily and then swap back if they want to, just to confuse the defenders and change it up a little bit, add a bit more variety to their style of play.
Seems like it
See if
confuses
that
our
works.
defenders more.
Yeah, but they're up there, aren't they? They're up there. Their purpose is to score goals.
Yeah.
But
Ben, same thing, same back four.
Yeah, I'm okay with seeing the same back four, but yeah, I'm okay with seeing the same back four. I'm all right. It just but
with Dalot on the right, not not AWB.
Yeah, I'm okay with seeing with Delo on the right. I'm
Good
okay with
assist
that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But it would be, but if it's not working after some time, I'm okay with swapping them out, subbing them out for Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Same thing you can.
AWB. I think right now Dalot will give you more offensively. But my only concern is that we're playing away from home, and Wolves will put you under pressure. Luke Shaw's back. I think I would, for the sake of it, because we have Manu and Casemiro to provide protection to the back four. I think I'll go with Dalot.
Dalot on the right.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously we're all sticking with Onana on the bench, right?
Yes.
Anybody calling in for now?
He'll be jet
Okay.
lagged anyway. He needs to chill.
Is he not going to see out the rest of the competition over there then, just to
No, he's
watch?
they're out. They're
They're
out.
out.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when does the competition finish? I thought they would stay there. Maybe I don't know.
No.
Oh,
Or
they
they,
ain't got that. You bring
maybe
your ass back to work.
There's no hanging
yeah,
out
but
when
maybe
you out. You
can we
out.
not ask him to stay there for the rest of the competition?
Well, yeah,
He was,
I
he was
would like
already a
him to
spectator
stay.
during the match.
I would like him to stay.
Yeah, we could request. Don't come back yet. Just stay there.
Enjoy yourself. Get some rest. Get some rest.
Yes.
Someone just needs to
Jesus.
steal his passport or hide it.
Oh my God, you guys are terrible. I felt terrible for the guy. I hope he turns it around, and I hope we can definitely start playing some Eric Ten Hag fucking whatever he came here, the non Ajax football that he supposedly was supposed to bring to Manchester United. But let's go ahead and wrap this up. And does anybody have any questions?
So the story basically out there is that Ineos generally feel that Antony is a bit of a flop, an £89 million flop. So they would like to offload him to Saudi.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But do you think that he should at least be given that chance to play on the other side?
He needs to go.
On the other side,
That guy
definitely sell him because they're
he's
going to make a
trash.
massive loss on him. 50 million is what
Yeah,
they.
cut your losses and let him go.
We're,
The
we're
guy
taking massive losses to our right side attack.
Yeah.
That's a massive loss.
I'm at this point, right, where I don't care what your name is. I do not care. I could care less. I don't care. You can go. Any player can go, in my opinion. Rashford, I mean Bruno can go. I really don't care. Anyone can go.
Bruno will be going for sure.
Yeah, he won't be going. But if you ask me, like you could keep certain players and not sell them. I don't care. Everyone's is on the block. But yeah, he's not gonna go. But I really any player for me, yeah, I'm okay with selling any player at this point, man. I think this whole revamp needs to. But the thing is, the club needs to make. I think the only way that they make a statement with this revamp or with their regime is to sell some big players. My opinion. I think once they do that, say, oh look, I think it's going to send a good message across the whole squad and say, you know what, no one's safe.
So a list has been produced by Ineos in terms of underperforming players, and it's
for real?
and
Oh,
ones
nice.
that they want to.
Wait a minute.
Well, I mean,
wait a
this is
minute.
what
Where you
this is
getting all
what.
these things, all these news?
Sorry,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
this is what's being put out there.
They,
Hold on,
man,
Ineos haven't
man.
come up with this list.
Yo,
I'll read it out.
that's
I'll read it out. I'll read
wild.
it out. I'll read it. I'll
Probably
read
a
it. Actually.
made-up list.
Read
but
off the
let's see.
list
No.
that you got.
I'll read it out. So
Yeah.
Ineos want to raise over £250 million in player sales and wages during the summer 2024. So Ineos are thinking of cleaning the house in the summer 2024. A lot of players' agents are concerned about what will happen with their clients of the squad of Man United. Because Ineos want to raise 250 in sales and wages, they are considering that they are going to get rid of, or they want to get rid of the underperforming players. So Antony Martial, and so it says Omar Barada's first job as Manchester United CEO is to lower the wage bill and to sell the unwanted and underperforming players on the squad. Antony Martial is set to leave on a free, which will release £13 million in wages. Rafael Varane has been offered a new contract at $200,000 a week for 2 + 1 years. If he doesn't accept, he'll also go. Casemiro has a big contract, which is too expensive, which is costing them £18 million a year. So they will try to sell him on because they're contracted with him till 2027. Marcus Rashford is on the same wage, £18 million a year, which is again too expensive. And they want to get rid of underperforming players: Jadon Sancho, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, Christian Eriksen, Wan-Bissaka, and Amad Diallo and Antony. They're on the list.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about Diallo,
I'm surprised.
Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Sancho, McTominay, Harry Maguire, Christian Eriksen, Wan-Bissaka, Amad Diallo, and Antony are on the list of underperforming players.
I'm not a huge fan of the Diallo, and it seems like they've picked Palestri over Diallo. It might be an injury issue, but it seems like as far as like youth up and coming player on the right side of pick Palestri over Ahmad. It's unfortunate.
okay with
Ahmad.
this.
I want to see Ahmad. I want to see a string of games with Ahmad before we start making that kind of decision, man. That kid, I feel like that kid's got sauce. He's got a lot to bring to this club, and I just want to see him play, man. But it is what it is. It's a if we get good money for it, don't sell him for free now. If we get good money for him, yes, but he can definitely be a good squad player moving forward. Let's not just completely, just sell off our youth. If we're gonna get good money for him, yes, but I don't want this like the amount of money we spent just giving our youth academy players out for like for pennies, or pence, whatever you guys call it over there. Pence, right? Pence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pence and
Pence,
pounds.
Pence, yeah.
Pence and
Yeah.
pence.
Or pennies,
Well,
pennies.
Pennies, yeah.
I do like to. Well, thank you for hitting up Cycles. We like it. The Man United direction. Manchester United have beaten Newport County FC 4-2. We definitely made a meal out of it, like I told you, Tim. Right, but we move on. You guys are looking confident for a win on Thursday. Can I get a thumbs up for a confident win?
Not confident. No,
No confidence.
In
I'm not
between.
confident.
no.
Can I get a confident draw?
No,
We just don't know what's going to happen.
we
right?
don't know what's gonna
We
happen.
just don't know.
That's
Oh man,
United for you.
that's definitely that is the state of
I might not even watch the
United.
game, man.
Oh come on, man. Okay, stop it. But thank you.
This team is it's too boring to watch, man. They make me want to go to sleep.
Well, we all do need some more sleep, but that's something that Manchester United is just really just trying to do their part. All right, but thank you for joining the show. If you could please like and subscribe on the bottom, you get a chance and promote this this wonderful channel. Tim is off; he should be back next week. And once again, glory, glory.
Man
United.
United.
Even though none of y'all think we're gonna win on Thursday, I love it.
A draw.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.